Alex McKey says, how can one, while living through difficult times, and by difficult times, they mean not only personal but global, how can one, they ask, avoid losing motivation and still continue to create and grow and work? How can one cope with this? This is a marvelous question. You're asking, you're saying create and grow and work. And so I'm going to take as axiomatic in your question that you are an artist, as you are looking for motivation to create and grow, which I think of as absolutely intrinsic to being an artist. But you're losing motivation because times are difficult. And I do too. I am too. There's a lot of suffering going on right now, all over, here locally, here countryly, here globally. There's a lot of suffering, and it's affecting all of us in different ways. For myself, I feel like it's this, I keep reminding myself that there's like this ground level of like 15%. I'm 15% depressed about the world all the time, like just kind of really broken up about it. And yeah, when you are looking at that kind of suffering and you're looking at the privations and things going on in the world, it can absolutely feel like wondering what like cool camera rig should hold your phone up while you're recording videos about the things you replicate can feel kind of useless and pointless. I really get that, because like, yeah, what am I doing to make the world a better place? Look, I think the world needs artists. We desperately need them. We don't realize that we need them all the time. But like during the Balkan War, the story that I remember the most coming out of Sarajevo was that theater was still happening in a city that was being actively shelled. And just like as a point of reference, Sarajevo is very much like a San Francisco kind of city. It's got a terrain. And just imagine, as someone explained to me back then, the way life was in Sarajevo is, imagine a bunch of people with mortars set up in the Marin headlands and are just constantly lobbing mortar bombs into San Francisco. That's what it was like in Sarajevo at the worst of it. And yet theater and art still occurred. There were still people responding aesthetically and temporally to the world around them and sharing that with others. And that's really important. Because when you hear that story, I hope you find it as inspiring as I do, is that like the need to create isn't solely recreational. It is important for survival. Like, I'm really clear when I hear about theater happening in a city that is being shelled, everybody in that audience and on that stage is recognizing that there's some aspect of art and sharing of it that is necessary for cultural and human beings' survival. I really believe that. And when you are working on your art, when you are working on the things that you can't stop working on, when you are working on the things that really matter to you, you are growing. You are also growing. And that is also an important task as a human being, to grow. And personally, times of difficulty can really give you great perspective. And I want to tell a story about COVID, which was, we were in the lockdown. Remember how confusing it was? Like, there was like one day it was like, we might be locking down. And the next day it was like, we are locking down. And then the next day it was like, I don't know if we're leaving our houses for a few days. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be weeks. I don't know if it's going to be months. And all that uncertainty, I remember a few weeks in having some kind of interaction with my wife that was fraught, as happens in a relationship. And it was one of these places in which we annoy each other and some little friction happened. And I was noticing that I watched her make this choice to be like, I'm gonna let this one go. Like, not worth it. And I was like, oh, look at, she has raised the water level on what's important, right? Like that fight doesn't matter in this world. And I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, she is right. A lot of these dumb fights don't matter. And so we just didn't fight about the normal dumb stuff for a long time. And that's what so I submit that the reason we didn't is because the difficulty of lockdown and what everyone else was going through gave us real perspective on how dumb our little concerns were. Yeah. And I find that perspective motivating. But more than that, I just like, I think Gandhi said this at one point. It may feel that what you do is insignificant, but it is absolutely vital that you do it. And I'm saying that the world needs you to explore those things that you can't stop thinking about, because you become a better person when you do that. You become a more rounded person. All of our obstacles to getting done what we want to get done there are plenty of exterior obstacles, but the biggest ones are all interior. Our motivation, our ability to solve problems, our ability to collaborate. And so I will say to you, it's not just about being an artist in difficult times, but like, explore your obsessions. That's still an important area. And even though you might have a lot less energy to do it, I know I do, I still feel like I am doing a good thing. And we feel like here on Tested, like we know what we are doing. We creating this safe space where we can visit and talk about the glories of making stuff in the middle of all this madness. And that is also motivating. Avshutsach, 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 says, I'm getting into making scenery and model railroading. I have used Lego as tunnel support, and I'm wondering what else you can use in hidden places in model making. Oh, all sorts of things. Lego, by the way, my favorite use of Lego in the maker community in the past 30 years is as mold making material, used to make mold dams and things like that. Lego has exactly the mechanical tolerance to keep silicone from leaking out. So I see a lot of people using Lego boxes to hold their molds. What else you can use in hidden places in model making? There's one material I want to show you and explain the name of it because it's a weird one. Wait a minute. Is it really not? Hold on. All right. There we go. Okay. That's it. Okay. This is a galvanized steel, zinc-coated galvanized steel strap with holes in it. It is often called plumber's tape, which is confusing to call this tape. But in terms of hidden places in model making and a build, this is such an important maker material. In fact, this is a really key film tinker toy material, along with grip chain. What is grip chain? Hold on a second. Grip chain. There we go. It's all right. It's all good. That's all fine. I keep a lot of plumber's tape around. Grip chain is this stuff. And you can drive drywall screws through it, and I don't know what its tensile strength is, but a good grip and gaffer team can build almost anything in about 10 minutes with a few Apple boxes, some C-stands, and some of this stuff. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.